I love my Guru, as he himself wrote about his own Guru, Sri Yukteswar, as the spoken voice of silent God. He was ever and is now more than ever my dearest and nearest companion. If I am right, I feel his inner smile. If I am wrong, I feel his inner encouragement to do better. He is on my side in every struggle against illusion. Could anyone be a better friend than that? But he fitted everything I could possibly dream of in human perfection. Honestly, I have to say that living with him was like living with God. I couldn't help feeling in his presence this aura of incredible greatness and joy. He could be talking about a pothole that needed filling in the driveway, and I would feel this joy just overwhelming me. And I found that in his presence, there was a feeling that the spiritual path is real. There is no other reality. And so it is, when I met him, I knew. It was remembering and recognizing everything he taught. People talk about his love, yes, but I found perhaps even more than love was his joy. He had an absolutely delightful sense of joy. It came out as a wonderful sense of humor. He could laugh delightedly at things and make you sort of join in the laughter, join in the fun. Life with him became not a lot of laughter, but just sheer delight. He was so kind to everybody. He was so human in a beautiful way. You know, people use the expression, I'm only human. He wasn't only human. He showed us what our potential is as human beings. He showed us how to be kind and compassionate and loving. Whenever I would look into his eyes, I would see just as if it was infinity. There was such love there, though, but it wasn't a personal love. It wasn't as if I love you personally. But yet it was. He had our interests personally at heart. But the most important aspect of his impersonality was that he wanted nothing for himself. I would look into his eyes and I would see there are no emotions there. There's only that cosmic love. He was so forgiving. Somebody once, he was scolding a disciple, and the disciple said, but sir, you will forgive me, won't you? And he said, what else can I do? But it was an amazing thing, his forgiveness, his love. And so, in his personality, what we see, essentially, is this deep, great spiritual master who, living in the West, manifested those qualities that would help Westerners to develop the best qualities in themselves, and always with the integrity of honesty, fairness, service, truthfulness. Those were his ideals. But then to draw them from that and from attachment to that back into their inner self. He never was interested in converting people as such. He wanted them to be converted to their own higher self. He came to launch a teaching. And so this power that he brought into the world to change the West is something that will continue through those who knew him, through those who knew us, through those who know you. Gradually it would expand out over many, many generations to touch the world. It has to be so because there's that kind of power in it. And as I look at Master's life, I see that it was absolutely perfectly designed to do a divine work in the West and in America. He wasn't an American. He was totally Indian. He would have loved to just stay in India and live in a simple ashram. When he showed his deeper nature, human nature, it was always Indian. And yet he knew how to relate to Americans in order to show this central truth in its countless different manifestations, so that he was not telling people, leave the world, enter an ashram, renounce everything, just meditate.
People, as they look back on him, or as people try to talk about him and sort of make him seem to be somebody who is so completely untouched by anything, it's something of an eye-opener also to read Durga's book and see how he was determined to, he was so creative. I remember when he invented mushroom burgers and the enthusiasm he had, and the different businesses that he started in order to help support. He had to do that in this country. We haven't even had a Rajarshi to help us here. But we've continued in that same spirit, that we've started the businesses that would make it work. We've done the different things that would make it happen, but it's all been for God, and that's what he taught us. He taught us how to live in this world for God, not for yourself. Do it in order to serve him, not yourself. But ultimately, it's a whole new spirit that he was bringing into the world, a whole new consciousness, a new way of looking at life. And we see some of the effect of that already, only 40 years after his passing. But this effect will become very pronounced over the centuries to come, because it was a divine work. It came with divine power. It was the response of God to the needs of this particular age. His work, his life work, we're still so close to it that we can't see the drama of it in all its... You can really see a painting when you step back a little bit and you can see it in proportion. When, maybe 100 years from now, people look back, then they'll begin to see more clearly what a great thing he did. In an outward way, we have to say is one of the greatest things that have ever been brought to this world. But I have spent the last 45 years meditating on his life, meditating on his words, meditating on his actions, meditating on what they mean to me, to others, and also what they mean to people everywhere. And the more I do so, far though I am from really understanding much, I have to say that I'm absolutely amazed. This is a power that is so universal, it eats into every aspect of life. And to celebrate his 100th anniversary, you might say this is just the beginning of the kind of celebrations that will go on for many centuries to come.
So if there was one thing that my Gurudev came to help people to understand, it was that with all your getting, get this understanding. As it says in the Bible, get wisdom. Understand that the greatest miracle of all is love, unconditional love, that the people, even your enemies, are your own self. Everything is your own self. This is what Swami Shivananda used to sign his letters, your own self. This is a wonderful statement. Think of everybody as yourself. Everybody longs for the same thing you want. Underneath all their seeking, what they want is bliss. Seek that bliss. Then you will be a true disciple. God bless you.